Joey, this is a quick video. I'm just going to show you. I don't know how long you've been playing the drums, but anyway, the key is now. I'm not sure how long you've been playing, but anyway, practice playing solid time. Okay. So what people do typically, just in like rock and roll, you're going to be like. Now it's really important, but a lot of kids, what'll happen to a lot of people when they just learn how, like, oh, I can do that, that's easy, but then when they play it, their time goes all over the place. You know what I mean? You don't want to sound like that. Just not, almost like a clock. And what'll happen is, even though it might seem boring as heck to you sitting there, or even slower, that'll do over time is not just teach your muscles to physically, like your hands actually and your feet to actually physically play it, but there's also actually like nerve like impulses that go from your brain, from your muscles to your brain and back. Like you're almost like what you're doing is making sure that the pathway from your muscles and your hands, it gets nice and efficient from each end. So you're not just essentially practicing like these muscles getting workout. But when you do anything over a long period of time, what happens is it cleans out like your, well, I don't know what the technical word for it is. I don't know but what it does is it makes because everything's done by nerve impulses, it makes like the little highways of impulses from your hands and your legs up to your brain just getting a lot more efficient. So that's why over time you can do stuff faster because it's got a quicker route to go. So when you actually spend a lot of time practicing stuff, that's what you're not just working on your muscles, as if you were lifting weights or something, but you're actually sharpening up, you're actually making faster the little passageway from the information to and from your brain. So that's why it's better even if you practice 15 minutes a day every day, that's better to do 15 minutes every day instead of doing even 5. A lot of guys will do like 5 hours on a Saturday but do nothing else all week. You do a lot better if you do 15 minutes a day every day, which comes out to be like 2 hours a week, which comes out to be total less time than if you do like 5 hours on a Saturday. You can still do a bunch of time on a Saturday and Sunday, but just try to make sure you get a little bit done every day, because you're teaching your hands and all your muscles and all your nerves and stuff to just play without thinking about it. So again, play it just, even if for 5 minutes you just go. I know it seems boring as heck, but just if you can, 5 solid minutes, do that. If you're comfortable doing it, if your hands don't feel all tight and stuff, do it a little faster. Okay? Now this is training for like rock and roll drumming, where all time or blues and stuff is pretty much all kept on the hat. But it's a good way to do it, because no matter what drums you end up playing, even jazz and stuff, you'll still play the what they call the ride or the time with your right hand anyway. So it's a good place to start anyway. Just, you know what I'm saying? But again, here's another thing too. When you play drums, I can't remember if I mentioned this, but you want to make sure, I'm right-handed, so you spend a little extra time with your left hand. You want to make, or your weak hand. If you're left-handed, work a little extra on your right hand. But you want to try and make your hands a little, you want to make both hands and feet, of course, stronger over time, just get better and better. But you also want to try and close the gap between your weaker hand and your stronger hand. So maybe even spend a little extra time just with your left hand. Like, there's nothing wrong, even if you have a pillow at your house, take the stick, even with your left hand, or your right hand either, but I'm saying if you have a weaker hand, even for like 5 minutes, just tap the pillow. Keep it constant. Da, 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 da. Just even if you're watching TV, or, Penguins of Madagascar's on, or God knows. I love that show, by the way. Just do that, because now, right now, even though I'm just doing this, I think you can see that. Right now, even if I'm not paying attention, my hand is learning to do it, and even I'm not really paying mental. You'd rather kind of concentrate on it if you could. But even in this case, if you're thinking of something else, as long as the tempo, the speed is staying constant, your brain and your nerve system they're working out like a nice smooth highway to get from your brain to your hand. Even just if you're not even thinking, even if you're like, hey, Dad, can I have a piece of that pizza or a donut or whatever, you know what I'm saying? So in any case, again, this is what they call single strokes. And, practice leading with your right hand. Practice doing those a few few minutes a day. Lead with your right hand, your strong hand. And start, but you want to make sure your hands are nice and loose. So even if you go this fast. But then it's important. Then do the exact same thing, the same process, leading with your weak hand. With me again, my right hand is stronger, my left hand is weaker. I write with my right hand. Okay? So my left hand is weaker, so I'll lead with my left. So before I led, with my right. Right? But now I'll lead with my left. It might seem a little silly, but you'll notice when you do it a couple times, you'll be like, wow, it feels like a different thing. Leading with your left hand, it's like, wow, that feels a little... And here it turns a lot of people off to any instrument or anything. Sometimes playing basketball or got piano, whatever. Is at first, if it seems awkward or difficult, they're like, oh my God, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. Well, you can't do it because you got to teach yourself to do it. Great drummers in the world, basketball players, these guys started out not knowing what they were doing. Way back when, they couldn't do it at all, probably worse than anybody. But they practiced, and over time, a little bit a day, they got better and better. So again, with your left hand then. If you can, spend a couple minutes leading with your right. Keep it nice and solid. After that, lead with your left. Couple minutes, okay? Then be like, okay, I did the hands. Think, okay, I did the hands. Now think the time, okay? So again, my right hand, one. So my right hand and my left hand. And then the bass drum. I know it sounds simple. You're like, oh my God, I can do that in my sleep. Just do it. Just even for 5 minutes a day. Just get your body used to doing it solidly. Tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock, tick, tock. And then over time, we'll add in some beats. I mean, you might be, I don't know how well you play. I haven't seen. But anyway, just no matter how well you play, listen to what I'm saying. You're going to add in a bass drum beat. So go from to this. Solid. Da, 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 da. Because time is the most important thing playing the drums. So after every day, try to give me like 2 or 3 minutes of singles, your right hand leading, then another 2 or 3 minutes with your left hand. Okay? It's really important that you do that. It might feel real awkward, like, oh my God. That's the point. Because the more you do it, it'll feel less and less awkward. And after time, like, oh, I remember I used to not be able to do that. And then you're going to be able to do it a lot better. And then give me like 4 or 5 minutes of the beat. Being solid. And then you can practice going, the same singles I told you. It'll be 4 beats of drum, which are 16th notes. So... tom-tom here. I just have a real simple setup. My snare, my ragtime, my floor tom. If you have 2, just go... Okay? Okay? But since I don't have it, I'm going... Okay? And then over time, but again, start everything slow, because it's kind of like you're getting your body familiar with kind of like what you're going to do. And if you start slow and pick it up if you start going too fast, your body kind of goes into panic mode. And you kind of don't do it right. And then you think you're doing it right, but then you're not. And you're like, oh, I'm not doing it right. So start it slow and just go. I'm telling you, 10 or 15 minutes a day, you're much better off. But just make sure you spend that time doing this, okay? Do this, what they call the 16th notes. Your single stroke. Leading with your left. Play the beat. 5 minutes, but just think almost like a clock. Then practice going around the 16 notes around the drum kit. Okay? So practice that. Okay? And others.